Welcome to Envisioned Broadcasting. Envisioned Broadcasting, the station designed to encourage, equip, and empower you for growth and success. An affiliate of Direct Impact Broadcasting and Creative Broadcasting, presenting the EmPower Hour with Jaresha, a show that shares the stories behind the journeys of leaders, influencers, and motivators. The EmPower Hour with Jaresha begins now.
Welcome to EmPower Hour with Jaresha. I am your host, Jaresha Moore. A little bit about myself. I am a best-selling author with over 18 years of combined experience in education, finance, healthcare, business management, and development, owner and founder of EmPower on Purpose, LLC, where we provide leadership training and personal professional coaching and consulting services, certified coach, speaker, and trainer with the John Maxwell team, and owner of Envisioned Broadcasting radio station. Before I introduce my special guest this evening, I would like to announce an upcoming workshop sponsored by EmPower on Purpose. We know that we're into November, and before you know it, we'll be saying goodbye to 2019 and hello to 2020. Can you guys believe that? So don't wait until 2020 to level up and get focused. You still have one chance to get signed up for the last networking vision board workshop that's being offered. The next workshop is December 1st at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard. During this workshop, you will learn a proven framework to help you tap into your true desires and dreams, use those desires to set intentional goals, and then outline an achievable plan. Whether you have created a vision board in the past or if this will be your first vision board, I guarantee that you will enjoy an amazing atmosphere with great vibration, laughter, and fun while you write your vision with power and purpose. To register or to find out more details, please visit www.empoweronpurpose.com or the EmPower on Purpose Eventbrite page. So today's empowerment quote is "Always make your future bigger than your past" by Dan Sullivan. I truly feel like so many of us need to hear this and repeat it daily. Always make your future bigger than your past. So it's truly up to you, and it's your choice. We all have a past. Realize that your past is just that. It's your past, and it does not and should not dictate your future. That means the sky should always be the limit for you, and your potential is endless. This year, my motto was think big, plan bigger, and achieve the biggest. With a motto like this, I couldn't afford to dwell in the past or dwell on the things that didn't work the previous year or dwell in my failures. I learned from my past and then started planning a bigger future. Don't wait to start planning a bigger future. You can start today, and then you can start now. So without further delay, today my guest is Yasha Sterling. A little bit about Yasha. Yasha Sterling, the BizTech BFF, specializes in helping entrepreneurs and intrapreneurs reach their company goals using business technology. Where many see technology as a challenge, Yasha views each dilemma she's presented with as an opportunity to ultimately help companies generate revenue. For the last 19 years, she has built a reputation for being able to recognize challenges in marketing and technology and has proven to be skilled in discovering a myriad of ways to solve them with innovative techniques. Throughout her career, she has worked with multiple Fortune 500 companies, helping to establish strategies and processes. Yasha is an author, coach, and speaker. She is also the proud owner of 4 businesses: Yasha Sterling Management Agency, Sterling Style, an online apparel shoe accessory store, BizTech 360, coaching for entrepreneurs, and She Geek Speaks, professional speaking business. In August of 2019, her website, Yasha Sterling Management Agency, was nominated and won a Web Guru Award. In 2016, she received a Values in Action Award for her work on Anthem's Reimagined website. In 2015, she won 2 of Pundit's Confident Bravo Awards, Technical expertise in quality for her work on the company's Knowledge Center microsite and its Quick Build Harness Board Systems landing page, respectively. Between 2011 and 2013, she and her respective team won awards in email marketing and website design from various associations and publications. Moreover, she has single-handedly led the design and development of 35 small business websites, increasing each of their client bases by at least 20%. Her unwavering passion for innovative technology has led to multiple speaking engagements and consulting opportunities. Yasha holds a bachelor's degree in English from Jackson State University, and she has an MBA in marketing and e-commerce and a master's of arts in applied computer science, both from St. Xavier University. She also has certifications in business and entrepreneurship, goal success, and workshop facilitations. In January 2020, she will begin her doctoral studies in technology and innovative management. Yasha hopes to bring a voice to women, especially Black women, who are underrepresented in technology. She also hopes to use her education and expertise to bridge known gaps and encourage young women to establish themselves as powerhouses in the industry. Welcome, Yasha. You are absolutely amazing. I'm so excited to have you on the show today. How are you this evening?
Hi, Jaresha. How are you? I am so super excited to be here today. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So I just shared some of your amazing bio. Could you please just share a little bit more about yourself, with the listeners?
Absolutely, absolutely. So, well, like you said, I am a technology aficionado. I live and breathe technology all the time. I am a tech professional, and I live in Chicago. Been in Chicago for about 17 years, and I moved here. Actually, the funny story is it wasn't even something that, some people know. I didn't even know. It kind of fell in my lap. So when I first moved to Chicago, I came here to be a writer. I have a bachelor's degree in English, like you said, so I came here to be a writer. And, I actually did that. But that role kind of evolved. As time went on, the role kind of evolved where I started doing some writing for the website. So basically what happened was my role kind of evolved, and I started working on websites, and, the rest is, what do they say, history.
Absolutely.
Since then I've kind of moved in and out of industries, and I've done websites, I've done apps, I've worked on emails, I've done the business side where I've done some business analysis. And so, like you said, recently I just graduated from St. Xavier again with a master's of computer science. So I'm one of those few. I actually rank in the upper 1% of Black women that own an MBA as well as a computer science degree combo. So, that's kind of me in a nutshell. And, if you want to see me excited, just start talking technology, and then, I just kind of pretty much take over the conversation.
Absolutely. I love it. Absolutely. That's so awesome and so amazing. So for the last 19 years, you have truly built a reputation for being able to recognize challenges in marketing and technology, and you have proven to be skilled in discovering, several different ways of solving them with innovative techniques. Could you please share just a little bit more about that? And, because it truly, as you said, if you just start talking about technology because you truly enjoy it. So share a little bit more about that if you could.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, like you said, it is a true passion of mine. It really is. I'm one of those, on the movies, especially, I think it's the Avengers where Robert Stark, he has, the little technology stuff. I think he's played by Robert Downey Jr., and he has the big technology, apartment. That type of stuff fascinates me. I dream of the day that I can have, a house that's completely technology, oriented. No, just don't flip on the light, hit the button. I'm that technology person. So whenever there's a challenge, even if it's in one of my own businesses or if I'm working on, a client, 99% of the time, basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to find some kind of technology solution. Not going to look for, some type of hand, some type of manual thing. I think, where we're going as a society, we're going into technology. So I always look for some relative technology solution for it. And most of the time, people come to me, and, they just need, like, they'll have an Excel spreadsheet, and they want me to help them fix their Excel spreadsheet. Or they'll have, like, a presentation, like a PowerPoint presentation or something. Mm-hmm. And I'm always like, I don't do normal. So I'm going to take that Excel spreadsheet. I'm going to try to turn it into, like, some sort of little app where maybe you can, sort your stuff and stuff. Who wants, or a PowerPoint. If it's a PowerPoint, it's got, like, animation, I'm going to try to put it in a pretty little website or something. I'm going to go above and beyond because, that's just kind of how I think. I think about, like, technology. And, if it's just like, if you give me that creative license, say, just fix it, and make it look good. Oh, that say no more. I'm going and I'm going to take it. I'm going to find some type of way to solve that problem with technology. So, what I tend to do is I tend to, like, try to wow. I always equate myself to, like, HGTV when they show at the end how the house is all pretty and they just, oh, my God, it's looking great. That's what I want to do. That's how I always like to do with technology. I want someone to come in and just be fascinated by what I built them. So that's kind of how, that's how I really do enjoy, and maybe almost enjoy it too much.
Absolutely. Well, I think that is awesome because that truly means that is a passion of yours. That is absolutely amazing. I love how you said that you definitely like to go over and beyond. And, I have to agree with you so much because when you think about where, all the advances as far as technology, and I say this because I'm thinking of, like, my 6-year-old who, she knows probably how to use my iPhone and my, Apple products more than I do. So it's just
and one thing, like, like my cousins, like they're getting of age, they're like, 11 and 12, and you're like, these kids don't want, like, little toys anymore. They want some real, heavy hitter stuff. Even, like your kids' age, you can't come with the little toys anymore. You've got to really come with some heavy stuff now.
So we got to step our game up.
I'm like, I might just have to give them cash and let them go. So
absolutely, because we, like you said, we definitely have to step our game up. But I love the fact that you're able to take technology and put your own, creativity to that. I think that's, truly, truly amazing. So
right, thanks. Yeah.
Absolutely. So you're also an author. So if you can share some of, what you've written with the, with the listeners.
Sure. So basically, and it's the weirdest thing, I have a bachelor's degree in English, and I've never even thought of actually writing a book until, like, now, because I have so much material that I feel like I can share with the world, both technical, business, as well as, kind of, being an empowerment person. So my first book that I'm working on currently right now, 2 separate books. One's an ebook and one is also a nonfiction. So the first book, the ebook, is called The Software Development Life Cycle. So what I do is I basically take a particular piece, and I do just like I've been telling you. I kind of take, step by step how we build an app, and then show you how to put it in the App Store. So not only am I showing you how to build it, I take you through all the steps. I take you through, the terminology you need to know. And then in the end, you have a nice, shiny app that goes in the App Store. What more could you ask for? This day and age, what I've come to notice is most people don't even really gravitate towards websites anymore. They really want to know. They're asking, what's the app? Where's the app? Is there an app for it? Or they're looking for some mobile version of it. Because most people these days, let's face it, they're on their phone. Nobody really does the laptop anymore. Nobody really does the computer anymore. So you got to have it ready, and you want something on the phone. So I basically am building this. I'm writing this book out to help people, really kind of hone the craft and really get in that App Store and Google Store, because that's where, most people want to be anyway. They want their stuff featured on an app. So that's what I'm working on. Yeah. And so rather than just, some boring book that just has a lot of step 1, do this, step 2, I take you through a really live working app. So that's kind of one thing I'm working on. And then the second book I'm working on is called The Evolution of Empowerment. So basically the way this book is kind of a testament of my life. right? You know, we kind of talked earlier where I told you how I grew up in Mississippi. Well, I told you I grew up in the South, but it's Mississippi. And I grew up with a very stern grandmother, very stern. And a lot of what I came to find out is a lot of, you know, and in the South, you know, when your grandmother tells you not to say anything, you don't. So the thing is, I found out that kind of resonated into my entire life, where I didn't speak up when I should have. So this evolution of empowerment is my journey. It shows how I learned to own my voice and really say what's on my mind, you know, very diplomatically, of course. I don't, you know, kind of get vulgar and stuff unless I have to. But
oh yeah.
But the thing is, but what I do is I tell people, because now that I have a voice and now that I say things, I've come to find people don't like that because they're not accustomed to it. So this is my journey and how, I hope to inspire other people. You know, if you have that voice, you know, use it. Say what's on your mind. Like Mary J. said, say what's on your mind.
That's right.
And in time, you know, it'll all work itself out. So that's kind of what my 2 books I'm working on. You know, kind of both sides of me, kind of 2 things that I kind of love, technology and really kind of finding myself.
Absolutely, and I love both. So for the ebook, can I tell you that? So at one point, I was actually looking for information out there. So I know, you know, as an entrepreneur, business owner, you know, anyone that's looking, you know, just thinking, of course, we know that how the advances have really changed over the years as far as technology. And like you said, you know, everyone has the cell phone. It's like their miniature computer that we're walking around with.
Exactly.
And so, yes, everyone wants to download that app. And so, you know, but the issue is not everyone knows how how to even build an app, you know, what's all included. And so I think that the fact that you're going to offer an ebook, I think that's amazing and I say that because I haven't seen anything out there like offered as far as like that.
Right.
So, you know, at least not what I've come across.
Yeah. Exactly. So not only am I just, like I said, I don't want you to, you know, get the book and be like, what? What's this? What's this? You know, and I want to really put it, so what I'm doing is I'm putting it, so what I've kind of, you know, really, you know, I've really kind of honed my craft as far as like being able to break down technical language to layman's terms where people, you know, people that aren't technically savvy, you know, I've learned how to say that where they can understand it. So that's what I wanted this book to be. I want, you know, the average person to pick the book up and be able to sit down and build an app and it not take them, you know, years or months, you know, to build it. So definitely, I definitely wanted, that's the kind of point I wanted to bring across. And I knew, you know, I know that if they're after, they're very far and few between. But I know I really wanted to bring home that point of, you know, putting it in layman's terms.
Absolutely. And like I said, I definitely think that there's a huge need. So we definitely appreciate, you know, the fact that you're going to be bringing out an ebook for those that may not be technical savvy. You know, I think that's awesome. And then even as far as, you know, your book that'll be coming out, your empowerment book, you know, I'm all about empowerment. And, you know, so I understand very much so when it comes down to, you know, having that kind of almost in a sense that old school, you know, grandmother who's very stern.
Yeah.
And so, you know, you know, you know, kids are to be, you know, what is it, the saying that they're to be seen and not heard or something of that nature. You know, I definitely, so yes. So I definitely understand, you know, with having your own voice and, you know, just feeling comfortable enough to share and speak up. So I definitely look forward to, you know, learning more about both of those. So you're also a coach, a consultant, and a speaker. Tell us a little bit more as far as some of the techniques and what you know, truly speak on.
Sure. So basically, you know, especially as a consultant, I've been a consultant the longest. You know, I've learned to be, just like, you know, kind of with other tools, I've learned to be relatable. So one of my techniques is to always kind of sit down with my clients and kind of, you know, learn about them, really get their experiences and kind of relate to the experiences that they have. And so basically what I tend to do is I always kind of tell stories, because 9 times out of 10, believe it or not, we're all alike. You know, the story's pretty much the same. It's just a different person. So what I've come to learn is, you know, I'll always share a story with them, and they'll be like, oh, my God, you know, and certain things will resonate with them because they'll be able to relate to something in there. I'm unfortunately one of those people that have been through some stories. So I can relate most times to a lot of people. So what I do is I take those techniques and we share them. So I'm like, can you kind of, I mean, are you, and, you know, I'll talk to them and I'm like, can you relate to that? And they're like, sure, I remember this one time. And, you know, and as we get that conversation going, then we learn about each other. We really, you know, kind of hone on those similarities. And that's how I'm able to coach them and really get them to, you know, kind of come into their own, you know, especially when I'm consulting them and or coaching them. You know, like, for instance, I'll give you an example about, you know, one client who's looking to build a business. And so, you know, we had to relate. You know, I had to show them, you know, there are certain things that you've done customer service-wise that will make you a great business person. So have you ever, you know, been in the store and someone asked your opinion on a particular piece of clothing and you say, sure, oh, I think that one looks better. That's customer service. That's a trait that you can use in your business. So like I said, I tend to use these relatable terms so they can kind of understand it better. I think what we tend to do is we tend to get, you know, kind of mired in the formalities. You know, and people with a title tend to overuse that title. I think if you get more down in those layman terms and really kind of be on the level with that person, they understand you better and they'll respect you more. That's kind of something I've learned along the way. So that's kind of the techniques that I use when I coach. Now, when I'm speaking, I speak mainly on technology because I'm most familiar with it. So basically what I do is I teach about various, like I actually, even though I'm writing a book on apps, I actually go out and talk about how to build these apps as well. So I do some workshops. I go out and I kind of teach women in technology how to build these apps using certain programming languages, you know, and they learn how to, you know, build those apps really quickly and put them in the App Store and the Google Play as well. So that's things I talk about. And then I also go out and I talk about, you know, inequalities in technology for African-American women. So really just going in and, you know, talking about, you know, how we as African-American women in technology can prosper, you know, how we can thrive, how do we break the ceiling and come out on top. So I tend to do a lot of speaking on a lot of it, but it's kind of mainly centered around technology.
Technology, absolutely. That's awesome. Yeah. So you had, you know, you definitely mentioned, and we've talked about, you know, you being a coach, and we both know how important it is to be, you know, to coach and mentor others. But can you share a little bit more about what your experience has been as, you know, maybe, you know, one that's, you know, being coached, so as the mentee, and how it's impacted your business?
Absolutely. So when I started out my business, I leaned heavily on a lot of people that already had one. So basically, they would give me this advice. And, you know, I frowned up with it because my brain was so functioned on being, you know, in corporate America where, you know, I followed a certain process. But what I learned from mentees is how to kind of think outside the box. When you're owning your own business, what one mentor taught me is that when you're owning your own business, you're in charge. And I think people forget that, and then especially, well, let me make it personal. I forgot that. When you're owning a business, you forget that, hey, you make the shots. If it's something that's not feasible, then it's your power to change it. So basically, what I've learned from mentors, and I still, you know, even now, like I have this one mentor, you know, I'll post something on Facebook, and he'll be like, take it down. Absolutely. And it's like, it'll just be like, no, take that down. And I'll probably take it down because he'll give me a better reason. He's like, because it doesn't speak to your brand or because it doesn't present the right image. And once he proves his point, I'm like, yeah. And so as he's talking, I'm taking it down. So,
absolutely.
So I rely heavily on, you know, as a mentee, you know, you can't really, you know, get big in your big britches when you're, you know, kind of trying to, especially somebody who's already been there. kind of let them help. And that's what I've kind of learned to do.
Absolutely. I completely agree.
Yeah.
I think it's nice to have, those coaches to kind of help keep us grounded and help us, kind of see things from a different perspective. So I definitely think that's definitely great to have. So what would you say has been the biggest challenge to date, for you in business, and what lessons did you learn from it?
Well, basically what I learned is when I learned business, it was, I had just recently lost my job, so I was unemployed, and I didn't have any money. So, and something just came to me, and it was like, well, why don't you start a business? I'm like, what business? I don't know. I don't know anything about a business. And so what I was doing was, just to make ends meet, I was driving Uber. So I would drive. So, the way Uber works, you drive, and cash is instant. So as soon as you drive somebody somewhere, I think there's a couple of limits on it, but you can pull that money out. So this one particular time, I would drive the long distances. So I would pick up people in the airport, and I take them the long distances. And this particular time, I think I made about $40 off a trip. And I remember I was like, I need to take a break because it was a long drive. So when I got back to the city, and I kind of sat there, and I'm going through my Facebook feed. That was just how I sat there in the car and just kind of letting this girl, and she wasn't even a Facebook friend. She was like a friend of a friend, and she was like, I'm selling this vendor list, and it's, you got all this particular products. So it was shoes, it was makeup, it was lip, it was cosmetics, it was lashes. And I was like, So I reached out to her, and I was like, how do you go about, she said, well, I have a list. I said, she said, and she gave me like a list, like for 5, you get $40, for 10, you get $75. It was stuff like, and I said, well, and I gave her the sob story about how I had lost my job and I really only had $40. And she said, well, you know what? I'll give it to you for, no, she wanted it for $50. That's what it was. And I only had the 40 that I had just made. And so she was like, okay, well, I'll give it to you for the 40. And she gave me that list, and I took that list, and I ran with it. I started looking through that stuff. Me and my nephew, he was looking at the stuff, and he was like, Auntie, post this. Auntie, post this. See if people like it. And he's like, because he knew what kids were. See, that's what I'm saying. Those kids know what other kids like.
Absolutely.
So I was posting that stuff, and those people were buying it. And so I was like, okay. So it was challenging. I only had $40, and it turned me into a businesswoman. It turned me into that person that was like, okay. And so along the way, it's been a year and a half now, I learned so many lessons. You asked about the lessons. I learned so many lessons. And the most important one that I've learned is you've got to have a thick skin. When businesses, you've got to have that, because everything's not going to go your way. Everything that you expect sometimes it just doesn't work out. I'll have these bright ideas, and I'll post it, and I'll think like, yeah, they're going to buy it. They're going to buy this stuff, and I won't give a lick. And you've got to learn that that's just the nature of business. Everything's not going to work. So you got to keep trying and try this method. You got to keep going until you find that method that works. And then, I'm a big Shark Tank fan, and they tell you all the time, find something that works and run it into the ground and run it to the ground so it doesn't work anymore. So that's what I do. So when I find something that really works for me in my business, hey, I'll do it over and over again until it doesn't work anymore. So that's the lesson I learned. And another lesson I learned is, like we talk a lot, and people on Facebook talk a lot about how they don't get the support that they expect. And I was that person too. I was like, I thought this person would have my back, or I thought that person would have my back. And so what I've come to learn is you can't expect everybody to have your back, because that's just not what that nature of that friendship was built on, or that, family was built on. So I've learned, like I said, I've learned to thicken up my skin and like, okay, whatever, I'm still going to run my business and be, be cool with that. So that's the lesson I learned from that.
Absolutely. And I think that is a really great lesson, because I think that, everyone, from an entrepreneur standpoint can definitely identify with, either getting rejected or hearing several different no's, before, and failing,
yes.
and it's okay, because the importance is that we fail forward, and don't give up, and so like you said, when you find whatever works, you keep doing it until it no longer works. So absolutely. Yes, yes. So how do you think one who is just starting a business or trying to truly grow their business continues, to make their business bigger over time? What are some methods? I know you mentioned, if you find something, you just keep doing what works. But what are some other methods that you maybe have used or that you could actually share with the listeners to continue growing your business?
Absolutely. So some things that I found, and I talked about it earlier, is about excellent customer service. Mm-hmm. I feel like what I tend to do is I tend to coddle my customers. So, I'll did it fit right? Is everything okay? Is there something better I can do about it? You provide them with that excellent customer service, and they'll always come back. I give them offers they can't refuse. They'll come to me and they'll be looking for merchandise, and I'm like, okay, that's something that I can work with you with, and I'll give them like a really nice price on it, and they get all excited about it. So we work, and and those people tend to come back. So really, offering discounts to people that come and shop with you. I'm talking about my retail business right now. But, those people that come and shop with you, give them those discounts, not deep discounts, but, a nice discount to where it's like, oh, that's a good deal. And, those type of people are going to be your repeat customers. And then the repeat customers, you really want to coddle them, because those are the people that are going to keep you in business. So you really kind of coddle them and, really cater to them. So that's one thing, excellent customer service. Another, kind of thing I think, testimonials. These people, if they keep coming back, just ask, like, hey, can you just kind of, tell people about me? Can you give me a testimonial and put it on the website, put it on your, your Facebook page. I tend to put a lot of it on my Facebook page, my Facebook business page. And I put a lot of those testimonials on there, because those are the things that are going to drive other customers. They want to see other customers, how are they reacting to it? You definitely don't want a negative one. So that's why that goes back into the excellent customer service that I talked about at first. But you definitely want to have those testimonials. People generally, people will ask, where are your testimonials? And then that's when you bring it right out. Or they should be already out there where they don't have to ask you for them. And then another thing that I really think is huge, and it kind of gets to the point where it's like borderline, like over the top, is the Facebook Live or the Instagram Live, where people go live and they really demonstrate their products and really show the really quality of it, and show, how it's made, and they talk about, how it feels. People want to really get, for me, I run an e-commerce shop, so they can't really feel it. So you want to be able to, substitute and show them how it feels. So no better way to do that than on a video. People love to sit and watch videos. People interact with videos way more than they'll interact with a post. So those are the three things. So excellent customer service, providing those testimonials, and then demonstrating your product so they can see it. Those are the type of things I definitely have contributed to my company's growth, and I definitely know that it will help anybody else that's looking, for ideas on how to grow their business.
Absolutely. So what would you say has been your greatest accomplishment?
I think my greatest accomplishment is getting that second master's degree. And I'll tell you why. It's mainly because I fought. And for years I was like, that I had the MBA, and I was like, the MBA is going to be enough. And I was like, but I was a programmer already. So what I came to learn is that it, like I told you in the beginning, it fell in my lap. I have a bachelor's degree in English, so I didn't have computer science as a background. So I wanted the theoretical part. I wanted to know, why does this work like this? Why does that, when I click on that link, it goes to some other page? I needed to know the theory behind it. So it took me years, but eventually I went ahead and I started, and I had some bumps along the way. And that's what life's about. But that's my greatest achievement, being able to go and get that second master's degree. And now, I have a rank that I can be proud of. I'm one of the few that's had it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's something that I'm very, kind of excited about that I have in my possession.
Absolutely, and I think that's awesome. And the fact that you're going to be starting your doctorate very soon.
Yeah,
well.
so even going further with it, and then okay, let's go the last mile. You might as well go the last mile with it.
Yes, that's amazing. That's awesome. Yes, and congratulations on your accomplishments from an educational standpoint and a business standpoint. I think that's truly amazing. So, many find themselves, and, when I say many, I'm really talking about, the entrepreneurs, and, we find ourselves sometime in a rut, or, perhaps even mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
like a burnout scenario, because often we are wearing every single hat of, of the business.
Oh,
What do you truly feel like that person can, do to proceed and become better than ever in life and as a business owner when they're facing that burnout and feeling like they're just, in over their head?
Oh, God. I was there. When I was trying to get through grad school, I was there. I was running these businesses, because at the time I had like 4 businesses running, and I was working full-time, going to school full-time, and it was just something I would not wish on that world, my worst enemy, because you get your brain is going in so many different directions. It becomes like, oh, my God, I don't know. Oh, my God, what do I do? Oh, my God, oh, my God, oh, my God. And so something's due here, something's due there. How do you handle that? So I had to stop. And what I learned was to pace myself. And I'm bad about deadlines. If I can get deadline after deadline, I'll ride those deadlines to death. So what I had to learn to do was really kind of chunk things out. So every day was a different focus. So on Monday, maybe I work on business 1. On Tuesday, I had class, so that was dedicated to school. On Wednesday, maybe business number 2. Thursday, business number 3. Friday. Oh, I'm getting my days screwed up. Friday, business number 4. And then on the weekend, if you've done your work, then you can chill. So that's what I learned to do, is really kind of, even now, so even with my businesses now, every business with school, on the back burner until January, I've had time, to really kind of stretch things out a little bit more. But, I learned to just give everything a day. You don't work on the same one every day. And that'll, kind of open your horizons a little bit. And something you worked on yesterday in the business, too, may work on, and everybody's not like crazy like me and run 4 businesses at once. So, some people, they have one business, they're cool with that, and that's it. So, but even if you have the one business, you can dedicate, like, your marketing to Monday. You can dedicate your sales to Tuesday, your, books, your accounting and your finance to Wednesday. You can split all those activities up across the week rather than trying to do everything at once. And so that's what I've learned, that really, and you have to make it a routine. Eric Thomas talks a lot about how, you have to establish a routine in order for it to become second nature to you. So once you get a routine, you're like, nope, on Tuesday I only deal with accounting. Nope, I only going to deal with accounting. I don't have any accounting. Well, I'm good on Tuesday then. That's how you have to look at that.
Yes, and yes, I totally agree with you 150%, because if you don't, you will, literally, you will be all over the place.
Yes,
and
it is not a good feeling.
No.
It's not.
Absolutely, you are correct. It is not a good feeling, because then you're like, okay, I don't even know what to do. So
right?
Yeah, it makes you not even feel like doing anything at that point.
Absolutely. That's what you do when you get burned out to the point you're like, you know what, just forget it all.
Exactly.
What's on BET?
Or Netflix, right? It's like, you know what, I'm not even going to worry about it. I'm just going to sit down and watch Netflix. Yes. Oh, my goodness. I have definitely been there, so I can definitely identify and understand completely. So the empowerment quote for today was always make your future bigger than your past by Dan Sullivan. Please share what that quote means to you.
So let's see. So always, you want to use your past as a stepping stone to your future. Because for me, it's a lot of things that I had to bring from the past to make me to the person. And I think it's a nice quote out there as well that says, you know, if you had stayed in your comfortable spot, you wouldn't have moved. And the thing that I'm so grateful for, and I may sound crazy here, you know, I'm kind of at this point where I'm glad I lost my job. Because if I hadn't lost my job, I'd still be all comfortable, you know, working every day and just being, you know, happy-go-lucky. I never would have started a business. I never would have run into that girl and got that and paid that $40 for that vendor list. I never would have done it if I was still working. So being able to use that past and bring it forward is going to make you bigger. So what I always tell my clients is this is how you have to look at the past. You know, think of it like building your house. Your body's a nice foundation, right? So every experience, you know, you want to brick. You want to lay those bricks. So if it's a bad breakup, you know, you broke up and it just didn't go right, that's a brick. You got laid off from your job, that's another brick. Speeding ticket, like I got earlier, that's a brick. You know, and so, you know, these unexpected expenses that come up, you know, homeowners know it well. You know, it's a brick. So, you know, you build these bricks because they're past experiences. They're in the past. It's something that's already done. Can't do anything about it. So use those bricks and build you a nice foundation that you can build on. You know, use those things. I've gotten to the point where I laugh, like, okay, because that's the only. Because at this point you can't do anything about it. So why cry over it? So using those things in the past will help you, you know, become a better person when you look at them and know that there's these stepping stones, and it makes your future brighter. It makes your future bigger. I love the quote.
Absolutely. And I love I love that. I love the building the bricks for the nice foundation. I absolutely love it. I do. I think it's just, you know, because like you said, I mean, we all are going to have different things that occur, you know, circumstances, situations, that's out of our control. And it's, you know, it's really how we respond to it, you know. So, you know, it's like at the end of the day, if you can't change it, you know, if something happens, it's like, okay, you just have to learn from it and almost in a sense keep it moving. And not to really say that in a harsh way, but we have to. We have to move past it. Yeah. Absolutely.
There's no reason because at the end of the day, it's still going to be there. And what can you do about it? My mom says it well. What can you do? What you going to do about it? What you going to do? What you going to do about it?
Yes, absolutely. Yes. Yes. I love it. So what is the best advice that you have ever received, and who gave it to you?
Well, let's think back. Well, when I first graduated from Jackson State, believe it or not, I went to school to be a lawyer. So I went to Jackson State, and I actually graduated with a degree in English / pre-law. And my first job when I graduated from Jackson State was at a law firm. Well, it wasn't a law firm; it was more like a legal department. And but the lady that was over it, she was an attorney. And the thing that I remember, you know, you're young, you're 23. You know, you don't really care. You just got a job. So, like, I would bring her, like, copies, and the copies would be all, you know, smudged up. Maybe I had water on my hand, and I would just hand them to her. And she's like, no, you didn't just bring me a copy like that. So she was so particular about everything, and her motto was, presentation is everything. So I learned from her that everything, no matter who they are, you bring your best foot forward. Even now with my business, when I even like my mom orders stuff from me all the time. And guess what? When I package stuff, I package it like a gift. So it's got the nice wrapping paper. It's got the nice inside tissue paper. When I hand people their package, it looks like a gift. That's just my brand. But when I take it to my mom, I don't just hand it to her. I don't give it to her in a plastic bag. I hand it to her just like everybody else. And she's my mom. Because presentation is everything. Everything you do, you should present it in the best way. And I tend to go all out, even with websites. You know, I'll tinker and I'll nitpick and I'll wipe and I don't like that. You know, and I'll just go in. You know, nitpick it because what people see is how you're going to be interpreted. So that's what she taught me, and it stuck with me every step of the way, every day. You know, what you present is important. Mm-hmm. So that's what I learned. Presentation is everything.
Yes, it is. Absolutely. I love that advice because and that's everything when it comes down to your brand. And, you know, the thing that I think that maybe entrepreneurs and maybe those that are just now starting out, you know, they may not realize is once you start a business, you know, you are your brand. And so you have to represent yourself in, you know, in that business manner and that, you know, that manner to where people recognize that. So, you know, whether it's on social media, whether you're out at a conference or, you know, you are your brand. Absolutely. I love that. That's great advice.
You definitely, you want people to recognize you based on what they say. Oh, I know that's Yasha right there. I know her brand right there. You want people to say that, you know, bringing them a plastic bag, you know, no. I have, you know, literally like I'll get a package and I have literally like stopped at like Michael's or something, a craft store, and got like a nice bag and put it in the tissue paper and stuff. I'm like, nope, not gonna mess with my brand. Nope.
That's right. That's right. That's awesome. I mean, I think that's awesome. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, what would you say is one piece of advice you would give our listeners on how they can empower their own growth and success journey?
Well, this is what I've learned. Any goal that's attainable is not short. It's not going to be overnight. It's not going to be the next day. So what I kind of learned in life, and this is what I kind of tell some of my own clients, come up with a plan. And it's just like I went on a journey, you know, with weight loss, and it took me years to get to a size, you know, that I was comfortable with. It wasn't overnight. It wasn't the next week. It wasn't the next month. It wasn't the next year. So what you have to learn is you have to break those goals down into sizable chunks. That's what my advice would be, you know, to empower somebody. So if there's a goal, say, oh, I want to buy a house next year. You break that down into sizable chunks, right? Okay, so we're going to do like, say, a weekly plan. So what can I do in a week to get towards that goal? Then you have a bi-weekly plan. You have a monthly plan, a 3-month plan, a 6-month plan, and then an annual plan. You want to have every step planned out because, you know, at the end of every one of these, I'll say milestones, you know that you have reached the goal. You should have been, every week there should be a goal you should be working on. That week prior should be building on the week that's before. You should break that down into sizable chunks so it doesn't seem overwhelming. If you're like, oh, my God, I got to do all this stuff, and you look at it like next year, you'll never get anything done. It's just like with my weight loss. You know, people expect, you know, she lost 10 pounds overnight. I want 10 pounds overnight. Doesn't happen like that, especially for somebody like me who has the weirdest body metabolism. It doesn't work like that.
Absolutely.
So, I wish it did. I wish there wasn't Magic Pill out there. Trust me, I buy it all up.
I would too. Yes, absolutely. Look, we would buy it up and we would sell it. Yes.
You can't. How much you got? No, you gotta have more than that.
That's right.
No.
Absolutely.
So the goal is to break those goals down into chunks, and then you know what you do is as you bite away at it, you'll see stuff begin to progress. You'll start to see, oh, I did that last week, and this week I did that. Oh, so now I'm closer because I've done some work. And then, you know, the way to keep yourself motivated is to reward yourself. And, you know, like for me, what I would do, and I'm still obsessed with, I buy clothes that are a size smaller. When I get in that clothes, all right, so now I got to go buy, like, you know, some shoes and match, or I got to buy some jeans and match. So, you know, kind of celebrate those victories. Don't just, you know, let those, you know, like, and then when it becomes a nice little game for yourself. Because as you meet those goals, like, oh, yeah, I said next week I was going to buy that purse. Or next week I said I was going to buy that new, I don't know, that new iPhone. You know, I mean, not that they don't have to be expensive gifts. You know, things that, or then the chocolate that you like so much. Or that, you know, I don't know, maybe something something that makes you feel good.
Absolutely.
Buy you something that's really nice and celebrate those victories. And you're like, yeah, next week when I do this, I'm going to get that. So you'll know next week. You'll have something to look forward to if you do the work. You have to discipline yourself enough to do the work. So that's my advice. Break it down into sizable chunks. Every week be working on something. Have a plan laid out. Lay that plan out. And then every week you have a goal to meet. So you're working towards the goal. It's just not something that's going to happen overnight. So you're working towards it. And then you're celebrating those victories in between. That's my advice.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for sharing that. So please share with the listeners.
Absolutely.
Please share with the listeners what's coming up on the horizon for you.
Sure. So my book launches are coming. The ebook will be here probably the 1st of December, and the empowerment book, my Evolution of Empowerment book, that should be coming shortly as well. I would say probably around the same time. I'm probably going to release them the same time. Just learning. I'm a new author, so learning all this process with publishers and trademarks and all of that stuff has been kind of new to me as well. So that's a whole nother radio segment.
Yes. Absolutely. Yes.
So then I'm also working on, I really feel passionate about African-American women and getting them that voice in technology. So I'm working on a couple of nonprofit ideas, kind of looking into getting them the training they need and getting them, the establishment they need, making an environment where they can come and be comfortable and learning these techniques. So I'm looking at properties. I'm looking at these, establishments where they can go and I can help them get the training they need, where they can get, or even, and I'm also passionate about helping young African Americans, so little girls that want to code. Like I have little cousins that are, they're so tech savvy. If they want to be like coders, get them started early. Really kind of honing that craft early. So I'm looking into really, honing African American women for tech, because there's so few of us. There's so few of us out there that really are passionate about technology. But and what I've come to find is some people have that they just need somebody to push them. Like, okay, here's the environment. You say you need it. You say you needed somewhere to go to learn. Bam, I got it for you. You don't have any questions. You don't have any excuses because I built it for you. Here you go. So I'm working on those type of environments. And then, oh, God, the doctoral studies begin.
Yes.
So,
that's exciting.
Pray for me.
I will definitely do that, because I will just really quickly will share with you. I started my doctorate
oh my God.
2 weeks ago. Oh, my goodness.
We definitely got to talk now.
Yes. Yes, absolutely.
Oh,
yes. So we'll definitely have to chat more about that. But I truly want to just take the time to, really just thank you for sharing your amazing story. And, if you could.
Absolutely. This has been so much fun.
Yes, absolutely. So if you would share with the listeners on how they can stay connected with you and how they can support you.
Absolutely. You can always go to my website, YashaSterling.com, or you can go through my agency, ysmagency.com as well. And then I'm on all social media. There's not one social media that I'm not on. So I'm on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Pinterest, Instagram, and YouTube. So there's no way you cannot not find me.
Absolutely. Awesome. Thank you so much. This has been amazing.
Absolutely.
Yes. I really appreciate you just really taking the time out of, your super busy schedule of Yes. And so I truly wish you, continued success and blessings as you continue on your journey.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. So, listeners, thank you so much for tuning in to tonight's show with our special guest, Yasha Sterling. Yasha shared her amazing story and journey to encourage, equip, and empower you for growth and success. And she also shared that when you have a goal, that any goal that you have that is attainable, it's not short, and it's not going to happen overnight or the next day. Come up with a plan. You have to break it down your goals into small, sizable chunks, and you will start to see progress. And remember to reward yourself and celebrate your victories. If you are interested in being a guest on the show, starting your own radio show or low-cost advertising, highlighting your book, business, or events, please email envisionb@empoweronpurpose.com. Please tune in next week where you will hear an amazing story and journey from another leader, influencer, and motivator. Until next time, be blessed.
Thank you for listening to the EmPower Hour with Jaresha, where Jaresha speaks with leaders, influencers, and motivators who share their journeys in personal and professional growth, empowerment tips, lessons learned, and keys of success that will empower you to be your best self. Follow Jaresha on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Jaresha Moore, and visit EmPowerOnPurpose.com. And remember to be intentional and be empowered, and have a great day on purpose.